What's up, champions? Today joining me legendary Jeff from JetSurf Wave Riders. He just returned from Nazare, where he had another amazing session in the big waves. And he got his new board, JetSurf DFI. So Jeff, tell us what's new about this board.
Okay, so direct fuel injection compared to, well, I have the titanium for the race series, but I also have, which I call my wave board, is my standard race board. That's the 2017, which is carburetor race board. And the difference really from trading my 2017 race board for this one is obviously it's new, everything's nice and tight and everything's perfect, which is lovely. It's also fuel injection, direct fuel injection, this one. So if you see the board, I'll show you under here. So instead of the fuel like going into the carburetor here, it goes directly into the cylinder head via the injector there. And what that means is that as the piston's on the way up, it squirts the fuel in as the piston's on the way up, rather than the fuel going like underneath the piston, and then when the piston going down, the fuel being pushed around. So it's like really like it's performance. It's so like effective, it's so precise, it's instant, and you pull the trigger for the power here and it's boom, like it's action straight away. It's so responsive. With the carburetor board, you kind of pull the throttle and it goes, but with this it's like woof, it wants to like go like a rodeo bull, you know, shoot off.
What about the length of the riding?
Yeah, riding time, I think the fuel tank, I think it's actually been reduced from 2.8 litre to 2.5 litre because I guess the fuel pump takes up some space within the fuel tank. But that 2.5 litres goes a long way. I'm still to actually figure out how much riding I can do, but it seems that an hour is no problem riding around in the waves. And even after the hour, I think I'm still having like, you know, a quarter or a third of the tank left in there. So I really haven't used the full tank out of it yet, so it's more fuel efficient for sure. This isn't actually related to the new board, but something I come to see in the racing world. They've got these pad formators. What I'm talking about is not actually these pads, because these pads are kite surfing pads, which I'm using on this, but the actual things that they sit on. Can you see that this here, the pad is not bolted directly to the board. The pad is bolted to this carbon fibre. It's a two-piece carbon fibre setup. And what you can do with this is you can choose, like it gives you flexibility. You can slide forwards, backwards on the base plate. And then this one, you can twist your foot position, like whichever way, clockwise, anti-clockwise. And you can move the weight in on the board or out on the board.
All right, sounds like a lot of improvements this year from JetSurf. And I like their new electric board as well that I tried.
Yeah,
it's pretty amazing,
great,
and you tried as well, and
yeah,
it's really buoyant, so you can actually sit in the waves.
Yeah, you can sit there, and I guess like what I'm thinking with the electric board is if it's like a half an hour battery life, like that could be really extended. If you're actually in a place where the sets are coming, you could just be sitting there in the water for 5-10 minutes hanging out with the guys, and then the set comes, boom, catch a couple of waves. Maybe that half an hour could last 3 hours. I don't know.
Exactly.
I'd be interested to try a session, you know, in the waves, which would be good.
All right, but today we are not talking about the waves. We have something special for you. Jeff is going to teach us his new trick, 360 rotation.
Yeah, well, let's see about teaching it. To be honest, I have done it a few times. The last time I did it, it all kind of clicked. Like it was about 2 months ago. It was on the lake at White Boston Lakes, beautiful place, of course. And I was nailing one after the other. I did like 2 or 3 on the same run. And I did 15 or more on the day, but I haven't done any since, so I haven't tried any since, so let's see. I'm not going to say that, I can't promise that I could deliver even one for you today, but I'm going to try.
Well, we're here on the beautiful lake. It's really flat, no wind, completely glassy conditions. We're going to take the fins off. Yeah. So what's the technique that you're going to do when you do actual rotation? I tried a couple of times, but it's not as easy as it looks.
So like, as you say, fins off, that's the most thing. Take all 3 of the fins off of the board because they're going to grab the water and it's going to be too difficult. In terms of the technique, I actually think this is a simple trick. Like, I mean, I'm no hero for accomplish this trick because I know that there's windsurfing tricks that I was trying to do for years and I never managed them. And I did manage to do this after probably 2 sessions trying, like 2 times on flat water trying. So really it's not that difficult. It is a trick that you could try. I think the most important thing with any of these tricks, you've got to believe you can make it. Like, because if you don't believe you can make it, you're just going, ooh, just fall over. If you actually think, I'm going to stick this, then you've got a chance of making it. So that's it. The first thing, the mindset. I'm actually going to make this trick. Like a boss, boom, you're going to do it, you're going to complete it. And then once you've got that mindset, you're going to actually try to do the trick. So that's the first thing. Next, with the technique, you're going to have a medium speed. If you're going too slow, it's no good. If you're going to go too fast, you're going to be too scared. So a medium speed, you want to get low down, bend the knees really low, really low. Keep your center of balance low down to the ground, to the board. And once you're going along at the medium speed, you're just cruising along, and you're going to decide to do it. You're going to go put your backhand. I'm goofy foot, so the backhand for me is the left hand. You're going to put the backhand down, you're going to actually touch the water, grab a handful of water, and at the same time initiate the turn by carving and blast the throttle full speed, flat out, boom. So that's your point number, say that point number 1, cruising along at medium speed. Point number 2, all at once, grab the water, blast the throttle and turn, and that's going to initiate the turn and slide. And at this point, when you start to slide, you've got to put all the weight on your front foot, which in effect is becoming your back foot. So your front foot is now becoming your back foot. Keep the weight on it, because you want the weight on this front edge of the board to allow the back of the board to slide up in the air. And this is just going to kind of probably complete your transition to backwards. Once you're backwards, you're halfway there. You're really, like, the hard work is done. You've just got to believe you're going to hang on to the thing, and you have to have let off the throttle. You know, during this, I said to blast the throttle. At the point you weight in your front foot, you're letting off the throttle to about a quarter throttle. So a low amount of throttle at this point, and as it starts to settle down, you're going to blast the throttle flat out, and you're going to power out of it. I hope.
So that's a lot of information. All I understood, believe in yourself.
Yeah, and that's the main thing. Try. Most importantly, try. Next thing, medium speed, bend in the legs, and then the action comes, grab the water, blast the throttle, and initiate a turn. Weight your front foot as it becomes your back foot with the throttle less, like a quarter throttle. Slide, 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 blast the throttle, full speed, and whoosh, off you go. And don't forget to give a good punch, whoop, whoop, if you manage to make it.
All right. Let's see how it's done.
Or you just see me crying in the water, and you better not show this video, Mike, if I don't make it. Like, this
if
video,
it doesn't make it, it's not going to be published.
This day never
anyway.
happened if we don't make it.
All right, let's do it. So it was quite easy, wasn't it?
So I showed you, Mike. First time. Do you see that? Bam! It's easy, hey?
Yeah.
Or should we tell them the truth?
All right.
I didn't do it first time. To be honest with you, I fell a few times. You can probably show them the clips here, like, can't you, of all the times I crashed. So don't give up. Like, it might not be your first time. Just do it again. You do need to believe you can do it. And actually, a couple other things which I learned. I'm still learning myself with this. I've done it a couple of times before, a couple of different days. Last day I did it, I was on fire. I just did one after the other. But what I did remember during all these crashes I did today is, if you crash twice, take it up the beach, drain all the water out of it, because your chances of making one, once it becomes full of water inside the board, your chances of making them go way down there. You're just not going to do it. It took me 7 crashes on the first run to remember that, and we brought it up, drained the water. I had another couple of goes, I failed, brought it back up the beach, drained the water again, and literally I think do once, maybe twice. If you crash twice, drain all the water, start again. When it's empty inside, you feel it under your foot with no fins. It's like, it's lively, it wants to come out of the water. Once it fills up with water, that feeling goes away. The other thing I realized doing this was I was coming on the throttle a bit too early. When I said before about how to do it, I was saying you're sliding backwards, and then as you blast the throttle to finish off the turn. I think actually no, you finish the turn completely,
And then you blast
and then you just accelerate away, because you'll see in some of the crash videos, I think now, if I watch it back, I'm sure I'll see the moment I blast it, the board was snagging, it was jumping out the water here, it was jumping there, and I was falling, failing all over the place. So yeah, a couple of extra tips there. And,
Alright.
Don't give up, give it a good go.
Believe in yourself, that's what we get. Thank you for watching, guys. We'll see you in the next one.
Yeah.
Keep on riding.
See you next time. And I'm sure glad I did actually manage to pull one of them off, because I was worried for a minute there, Mike.